Yes, my friends, the New England Patriots are once again at the center of recent headlines, and for good reason. The behind-the-scenes moves, the strategic decisions, and the attitude within the organization have been turning heads. Elliott Wolf and Mike Vrabel have proven to be incredibly solid, determined, and above all, competent. One as general manager, the other as head coach. They're building something special, and man, I really believe the fan base is loving every second of it. But before we get into the first story, let me ask you something. What grade would you give Wolf and Vrabel for everything they've been doing for the Patriots? In my opinion, they deserve a perfect score. I haven't been this excited in decades. This new chapter of the team has brought a whole new energy. You can feel it. Something big is coming. Elliott and Vrabel, I believe. A lot of people believe we can win another Super Bowl. And you know what? I don't doubt it for a second. We're going to get there. The journey has already begun. But we'll talk more about that soon. Now, let's get to the first story. We've officially hit June, and with it, the New England Patriots are standing at a crossroad. Mandatory minicamp looms, and the roster we see today might not be the one we see when training camp kicks off. There are serious post-June first-cut decisions looming. 3 names in particular are drawing attention inside Foxborough. And let me warn you, one of them is going to sting. He's been a fan favorite, a staple in the secondary, but that may no longer be enough. Let's talk about it. Kyle Duggar. Yes, you heard that right. Kyle Duggar. The same hard-hitting safety from Lenoir-Rhyne, the Division II gem that New England unearthed and transformed into a defensive cornerstone. But here's the twist. He may be on his way out. And no, this isn't speculation for clicks. The numbers don't lie, and the direction of the franchise under Mike Vrabel suggests a new wave is coming through the door. Duggar played 13 games in 2024. His coverage grade from PFF? A disappointing 34.8. That's not just below average. That's flat out poor for a starting safety. He did rack up 81 tackles, but those who watched closely saw a player struggling in pass coverage, getting beat more often than not, and, honestly, looking a step slower. Vrabel, known for his no-nonsense, forward-looking mentality, didn't just sit back. He brought in Marcus Epps, another tough, run-defending safety. And then, in the draft, the Patriots selected Craig Woodson out of California. Woodson brings versatility, having experience in the slot and deep safety roles. Suddenly, Duggar isn't just underperforming, he's replaceable. And the cap implications make this even more glaring. A post-June first release of Duggar would save the Patriots $1.1 million this season while splitting the dead cap hit over 2 years. It's not a massive number, but when you're revamping a roster, every dollar counts. This isn't a personal attack, it's business.
Duggar's injury issues in 2024 didn't help. Combine that with the direction of the defense and a changing safety room, and it's hard not to see the writing on the wall. Duggar has a potential out in his contract this year, and if Vrabel wants his guys in place to shape this new defense, Kyle Duggar might be one of the surprising casualties. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it might just be reality. Now, onto someone who stirred more controversy than contribution, Javon Baker. Let's be honest, he was electric at UCF. The talent flashed on tape, but none of that has translated to the NFL. Baker played in 11 games last season and recorded, brace yourself, 1 catch. 1 catch for 12 yards. That's it. And while stats don't always tell the full story, in this case, they scream loudly. What's worse is his conduct in OTA sessions this year. Reports from Mark Daniels paint a disturbing picture. Dropped passes during warm-ups, celebrating a catch during drills while jogging back to the sideline and making teammates and coaches wait. That's not just immature, that's unacceptable in Foxborough. Vrabel is bringing the same hard-nosed accountability that he thrived under as a player. Baker's antics don't just show immaturity, they show a lack of awareness of what it takes to be a New England Patriot. And this isn't about talent. He's got talent. It's about professionalism, readiness, and hunger. When guys like Efton Chisholm, Kyle Williams, and Jalen Polk are getting first-team reps with Drake Maye and Baker isn't, that's a message loud and clear. He's on the outside looking in. Phil Perry, on NBC Sports Boston's podcast with Tom Curran, didn't hold back either. Baker's roster spot is tenuous, to say the least. The 2025 season isn't about waiting for guys to mature. It's about getting results. Vrabel doesn't have the luxury of time. Baker had the offseason to prove he was more than hype, and so far, he's proving the doubters right. Unless there's a massive shift in attitude and performance, he won't just be a cut candidate, he'll be out of the league. And then we come to the third name, Cole Strange. first-round pick from 2022. Once viewed as a foundational piece of the offensive line, now standing on shaky ground. The Patriots declined his fifth-year option, and that says volumes. Strange missed significant time in 2023 and 2024 with injuries, including a torn patella tendon. When he did play, it wasn't pretty. 3 sacks allowed in just 10 games, 22 pressures, a 64.7 PFF grade. For a guard, that's not just below average, it's detrimental. And now, in OTA sessions, Tyrese Robinson, yes, the same Robinson who played just 1 game last year, is getting first-team reps at left guard. Robinson, a waiver claim from the Vikings, is now pushing Strange for the job. If that doesn't tell you what the coaching staff thinks of Strange's future, nothing will. Jared Wilson, primarily a center, is even being looked at as a possible shift to left guard. The Patriots are searching hard, and that means Strange, once a first-round investment, is on notice. But here's the twist. Cutting Strange right now doesn't save the team any cap space. They're locked in unless they find a trade partner. But who's trading for a guy with an injury history and just 1 year left on his rookie deal? No team's handing over assets for a rental lineman with durability concerns. So what happens? He might stick around until the Patriots find someone who can truly replace him. But make no mistake, his days feel numbered. This is a franchise looking to the future, and Strange hasn't been part of it in 2 full seasons. And here's where I want to bring it back to you, the fans. These aren't just names on a spreadsheet. These are players we've rooted for. Duggar, a fan favorite. Baker, a spark of hope that's quickly burning out. Strange, a guy we hoped would anchor the line for years. But football is ruthless, and the Patriots are making that clear this offseason. So now I turn it over to you. Should the Patriots move on from Duggar? Is Baker already a lost cause? Does Strange deserve one last shot? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Which player do you think is most likely to be cut before the season begins? Patriots Nation, we want to hear from you. Let's talk. Let's keep the conversation rolling, Patriots Nation, because what's happening right now in Foxborough is more than just roster tinkering. It's a culture shift. Mike Vrabel is putting his stamp on this team in ways we haven't seen in years. For a franchise steeped in the Patriot way, this new version may feel a little unfamiliar, a little colder even, but it's necessary. The truth is, we're not in the Tom Brady era anymore. We're not even in the Bill Belichick transition era. This is Mike Vrabel's team now. And these potential cuts? They're not just names on the bubble. They're testaments to a new philosophy taking root in New England. Let's go back to Kyle Duggar for a moment, because this is the one that's going to divide the fan base. The guy is a hammer in the run game, and no one can deny that. But the NFL isn't just about stopping the run anymore. It's about coverage versatility, reading complex route trees, and having the agility to stick with receivers in space. And that's where Duggar's value is slipping. When you put up a 44.3 overall PFF grade across 13 games and a 34.8 in coverage, you're not giving your team enough in a pass-heavy league. Then you bring in Marcus Epps, yes, another run-first safety, but one with a significantly cheaper contract and similar production when healthy. Add in a young, flexible rookie like Craig Woodson, and the writing isn't just on the wall, it's carved in stone. And while we're talking about young players with potential, let's